So there are like an endless ways to meditate, endless amounts of techniques, infinite. As far, we're living in infinity, there's like an infinite ways to meditate, an infinite number of techniques, an infinite number of positions, an infinite number of things, right? I want to talk about two basic ways of meditation here in this video, two basic ones, right? And they're sort of based on, one is based on the Buddhist model, the other one is based on the Hindu model. However, don't get stuck or attached to the Buddhist label or the Hindu label, because these very same techniques, you find them in other religions and other traditions here, okay? Let's talk about the first way, which is the Buddhist way. The Buddhist way is you sit and you just observe your thoughts. You're the observer. You're the awareness becoming aware of what's happening. You sit down, you close your eyes, and you're just aware. Oh, you get a thought. Oh, I gotta go and do my laundry later on today. Oh, you're the awareness. Oops, there's a thought. Okay, you just kind of let it pass, like, see a river, right? It's always flowing. You just kind of let everything flow. Oh, okay, interesting. I gotta do my laundry today. Okay, right? You get another thought. Oh, man, I'm out of groceries. I gotta go buy avocados. Okay, you observe that and you just kind of let it go, like the river, right? And then, like maybe, oh man, like my back muscles hurt. Oh, I'm really sore. You're just kind of aware of it, and then you're like, okay, let it go. And so you're aware. You're just aware of your surroundings. Oh, you hear a bird sound. Just kind of report it. You're aware of it. And that's it. You're basically just becoming the watcher of your thoughts, the watcher of your sensations in your body, the watcher and the observer of your environment. And it's a powerful technique. It's how the Buddha got enlightened. He sat under the Bodhi tree and just observed. Just observed. Closed his eyes, sat down and observed. And that's sort of the Buddhist preferred way of meditation. Of course, Buddhists do other things, and they do the other method that I'm going to talk about here, but maybe this is sort of the mainstream Buddhist way, let's say, right? And let's call it unfocused. And why I say unfocused? Because it doesn't really focus on one specific thing. It just kind of observes and watches. The other method of meditation, let's call it focused. Let's just, for convenience's sake, it's sort of the more traditional Hindu way, which is focusing on a chanting, focusing on a chant, and usually it is a chant, is what it is. And transcendental meditation falls under that. Transcendental meditation, they give you a mantra, right? It's just for you, and that's it. So you go into your meditation, you close your eyes, and you repeat something over and over and over and over and over and over. Now, Buddhists do that too. I mean, they do some chanting as well. So we're not saying, oh, that's how the Buddhists meditate and that's how the Hindus meditate. Far from that. The Hindus do the same thing. They'll sit down and observe. Okay? But I'm saying the more traditional. There's more emphasis in Buddhist traditions on just observing, being the watcher. And then in Hindu tradition, there's more emphasis on focusing on something, chanting, on a chant, a certain chant. And there's so many of them, a mantra they call it, right? Now, like I said, these are in so many different traditions. Like, for example, in the Sufi Muslim mystic tradition, chanting is a huge way to connect with the divine, to connect with God, to connect with spirit, right? When I do the chanting, I usually use Sufi chants. Just because I speak Arabic, I was brought up in a Muslim tradition. For me, it's just like more natural than for me to repeat, say, a mantra in Sanskrit. Just for me, I know the Arabic, I brought up under it, I feel its power, I know what it's saying, right? Like one of the Sufi chants, for example, is you just sit down and you repeat Alhamdulillah, 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 which just means thank you God, thank you God, thank you God. It's a beautiful, beautiful chant, and really, really, really makes you feel appreciative, and tears will come down your eyes. Tears come down your eyes. Tears come down my eyes if I keep sitting down repeating it. Seriously, I start to cry just in appreciation of being here, of everything that God has given me, right? So chanting is not strictly and exclusively Hindu. I'm just, again, just to point that out. Chanting is used in shamanic traditions as well, right? Shamans will often sit down, and one of their ways to connect with the divine would be to chant something, right? Say something, an incantation, if you will, to incant, to summon spirit. So both ways are powerful, and you should probably, if you're looking to really like become a better meditator, you should probably mix them up. Do both of them. Maybe one day you sit down for half an hour or an hour and you chant. Pick a chant that is, a mantra that fits with you. You don't have to pick someone else's. You can pick your own. You can create your own mantra. Something that just makes you comfortable, and you're comfortable just saying it over and over and over and over. And you just focus on that. You close your eyes, you focus on that. And then another day you sit down and you say, hey, today I'm just gonna be the Buddha. I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna observe my surroundings. I'm gonna observe my sensations in my body, and I'm gonna observe my thoughts. And you will come up with epiphanies and progression doing both types of meditation. I find personally, when I do the sitting down and watching, becoming the watcher and the observer, I find that after doing that for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and I get deeper into it, I come up with very, very deep truths about life. You see, you have to peel off the layers, essentially, right? So first, with the observer method, you're a little bit more in your thoughts, right? That's why it's unfocused. You're a little bit more in your thoughts. You have to peel them away. First, you're probably thinking about what you've done yesterday, what I'm gonna do tomorrow, what I have to do today. Then you're like, okay, fuck it, irrelevant. Then you go a little bit deeper. You think a little bit about your future. Then you're like, irrelevant. And you kind of peel off the layers, and then you get to a point where you start to get into a higher way of thinking, higher way of being. And you might even get to a point where you're not even thinking anymore. You're just kind of like being here, and you're just watching and observing your breath, right? Because that's the whole point of it. The whole point of it is the whole time you're observing and watching your breath. Just inhale, exhale, and you're gonna have thoughts, you're gonna have sensations. You notice them, you report them, you move on. Observe your breath, and you can get to a point in the meditation, if you go deep into it, where you're just in your breath, just in your breath. Usually for me, it's around 40-45 minutes. I time myself. I just have a timer there. I don't record of it. But usually around the 40th minute, just an estimation in my head, I'm usually just. And oftentimes doing this type of meditation, I'll come up with one really deep epiphany that is either personal to me or just a truth on life. So that's the benefits of that. And I think that's a squirrel. The chanting, it kind of gets you out of your thoughts immediately. That's what's nice about it, and puts you in a transcendental state, right? And you don't have to think. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna repeat this. Alhamdulillah, 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 Alhamdulillah. Or, there's another Sufi chant, Bismillah, Bismillah, which is in the name of God. So you just kind of repeat it. You pick maybe a Sanskrit chant or something in your language. Sit down and repeat it. My favorite chant, believe it or not, and Buddhists use this chant as well. Favorite chant. This is my preferred too. This is honestly, if I'm meditating, 2 out of 3 times I'm meditating, I'm using this chant. Simply, just humming. I love it. It's my favorite. I usually go for it 2 out of 3 times. 2 out of 3 times. I want to make a separate video for it. There's a lot of significance for these 3 letters. Very, very significant. And it's who you are. I am. That's really who you are. And you're just connecting to all of creation at the deepest level. Because there's a humming to you, there's a humming to the water, a humming to the trees. That's what connects all of beings and all of creation. It's the the original sound of which everything was created with. Because everything is vibration. It's the original vibration, let's say. Right? It's very divine. It connects you straight to source, man. You sit down and hum for an hour, you're gonna be in different worlds, bro. You're gonna be seeing lights. Honestly, what I do is I put on my blindfold and I hum for an hour. By the end of it, I'm seeing lights. I swear to God, there's lights going on in my head. Lights, just lights, and I'm feeling very blissful. And it's very easy not to get too distracted with your thoughts, because then you're just, you're gonna have thoughts. Of course you're gonna have thoughts. You can even sit down and think if you want while you're humming. But you just go back to the humming. And you really focus on making the sound, and you focus on the sound and how it makes you feel. And what I like about humming, it's an experiential thing. You're not saying anything. There's no words. There's more like sounds here going on. So these are the two basic ways to meditate. But there's, like I said, there's plenty. There's binaural beats meditation. There's active meditation. There's dancing meditation. The Sufis have a dance, right? They dance and they put themselves in a trance state. Shamans do the same thing. Anyway, different topics, different videos, different ways of meditation. Experiment them all. That's what I do. I experiment with all of them. And next thing I want to experiment with is dancing. Transcendental dancing. Shamanic and Sufi. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep sharing, keep telling you guys about my experiences with meditation. God bless you all. I love every single one of you guys. But don't forget to subscribe, or you're gonna sleep with the fishes. So subscribe.